Hi everyone, I'm assuming if you're watching this video you're either at uni or about to go to uni, so hope you're having a good time if you're there or you're excited about going if you're about to go soon. I'm not the thriftiest of students, but I've picked up a couple of tips during my time at uni so far that will hopefully help you out. So here are my 5 top tips for saving money at uni. Tip number 1 is not to buy the books from the campus bookshop or any kind of book bundles that are offered through uni. I find these are actually really quite expensive, even though they say that they're going to save you money. I buy all of my books from eBay and Amazon, and I usually get them secondhand. If you look on Amazon, it'll say like the main price from the main seller, but if you look underneath it says like new and used from like 1 pence or something. So I can normally get most of my books for £2 or £3 off Amazon or from eBay as well. Another tip is to check out pages on Facebook for your subject and to see if anyone in the year above is selling books. That's a really good way because you can get the whole module as a bundle together and you haven't got to pay any delivery costs or anything like that. So a much cheaper way of buying books so you can spend your money on better things. Number 2 is to do your food shopping online, especially if you're at uni without a car or there's not that much transport and stuff to the shops. It can be a real pain going to the shops and lugging back loads and loads of bags of shopping. So you can kind of find yourself like popping into the corner shop or like the one on campus, which can be really quite expensive. So I'd recommend you get together with your flatmates or housemates, put in an order together. That way you'll be over the minimum spend to get a delivery. And then you can get everything delivered straight to your house, everything you need, and you're not going to have to keep popping out to the more expensive corner shops. The third thing on the topic of food is that feeding just yourself is quite difficult because a lot of food comes in like meals for 2 or for family sized, and unless you don't want to gain tons of weight by eating family sized portions of food for every single meal, then I really recommend freezing stuff. I use my freezer loads. I put like a loaf of bread in there because I mainly only eat it as toast, so it can just come straight out of there. I freeze portions of bacon rather than like having to open the whole packet and use it within a couple of days. I also make big like meals and freeze those as well. So if I make like chili or spaghetti bolognese or a curry, then I've got like 3 or 4 other portions that I can pop in the freezer, and then that's a really quick and easy meal that is kind of healthy and hasn't cost me a fortune to make. Also, you're not going to be wasting loads of food by realising it's gone out of date and you've had to chuck it away. That's such a waste. So I plan out my meals kind of like I say, on Monday I could have this or this depending on the use by dates, just so that you're not wasting food and you know what you've got in your fridge. The 4th tip I have is on staying fit and healthy. Now, a lot of universities have gyms and stuff, but they can be quite expensive to join, or the ones in town might be quite expensive to join even if they have a student discount. So I'd recommend maybe joining some of the fitness societies. These can be much cheaper to join. Some of the sports societies are quite expensive, but obviously if you're interested in that sport it's worth paying for. But if you just want to keep fit, then one here at Extra is Body Sock. I really like that one. They've got classes like yoga and Zumba, aerobics, body pump, all these kinds of stuff, and that only costs £1 a class. So I really like going to those. Also there's like running groups that you can join, so even if it's not an organised one you could just go with a friend. So that's just a way you can save money and still stay fit without having to pay lots of money on the gym. My 5th point is to budget. Now this can sound really boring, you'll be like, oh I really can't be bothered, but it's definitely worth doing. I know your rent is pretty much all of your student loan, or at least is of mine. As soon as my loan comes in, it's straight out again on rent. So what I've got left to live on, I try and decide how much I want to spend on certain things, so like going out, what food I'm gonna buy, how much I've got to spend on that, like little things that come up that you might need to buy, like clothes and stuff or things you want to do. So just have an idea of how much you can roughly spend per week that you've got extra, so you're not going into your overdraft, and you don't have to ring up mum and dad and be like, I need some money, can you send me some? So definitely keeping an eye on your finances and just being aware of how much you have got to spend, especially when your loan comes in initially. You think, oh I'm rich, I've got over £1,000 in my account. That pretty much all goes on housing, I'm afraid, and bills. It's a hard life being a grown-up. But yeah, definitely budget. The other thing I did in my first term of first year was I like kept track of what I bought and what I spent, and it just made me more aware of how much stuff cost and how much I was buying. Like even just day-to-day living required quite a lot of things to buy, especially when you're first coming to uni. So you don't have to write everything down, but it's just a way you can do, you know, keep track and be more aware of what you're spending. So I hope you enjoyed this video and that it was helpful. Kind of a more boring and practical one, but I think it's useful all the same. I hope you're having a fantastic time at uni so far. Let me know if you've got any other suggestions for videos you want me to do, and I'll try and get around to those as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.